Yeah, I mean, we had a couple days off, which was nice, which I think we needed, especially after a tough defeat like that. Sometimes that can kind of reset things. And honestly, the mood has been, pretty good still. It hasn't been down, or it's been in a way kind of refreshed in a sense. Like, okay, yeah, we kind of got beat pretty bad in New York, and it wasn't the greatest game from our side. But at the same time, we're looking ahead. We're trying to prepare and get ready for what's to come, knowing that there's obviously a couple big weeks ahead. But yeah, it hasn't been too different from weeks past, and certainly not like bad mood in general just because of this game. Obviously, we want to make it right, and we want to start winning again.
Yeah, I want to ask a follow up, which is sometimes there's a trap game when you have a game next week that everyone's talking about Champions Cup. You have a game against NYCFC, which is sort of now down the bottom of the table. How do you guys avoid, overlooking this game tomorrow?
I mean, it's obviously the CONCACAF Champions Cup game sticks out, right? And it's something that we're excited for to host Monterrey here, and then to go there, have a huge game there in a couple weeks' time. So, it's a big matchup. I think everybody watches that and looks forward to that. But like you're saying, I think we have a game obviously tomorrow that after having lost in the league and also not being in first place anymore, having one game more than everybody else already, is kind of like a game at home that you want to play and you want to win, and we can't forget about the league completely. I think that's kind of what happened last year a bit in terms of having slow starts, and then you have to make up points at the end of the year that all of a sudden you can't find anymore. And we want to make sure that we are at the top. We stay on top, at the top of the table in MLS, and to be a top team. I've said this many times, and I've learned it from guys in the past. To be a top team and to be a supporter shield contender, all these types of things, you can't lose back to back, and especially at home. And that's something I think we're aware of. We're certainly looking forward to the game tomorrow at home to also get back to winning ways and get a good feeling for that CONCACAF Champions Cup matchup. Where you want to head in there with confidence. And obviously, the Red Bull game didn't give us the most confidence in that sense. So we're hopefully able to do that tomorrow, and then look at Monterrey after tomorrow.
Julian, I don't know if we're gonna get to talk to you before the first leg of the Champions Cup, but I want to get your take on facing such a tough opponent. Monterrey is a team that knows how
Yeah.
to win that tournament. How do you see that matchup? What do you expect?
I'm excited. I think I'm excited to have that matchup. They're a good team. I've played against them in the CONCACAF Champions League back then before. We lost, so I have a little bit of revenge in that sense personally, where I want to make it obviously to the next round. And yeah, those are the type of opponents, those are the type of matchups that coming into the season, coming into the that competition is what we wanted, and that's beating or trying to beat the best in this continent, and in order to be able to hopefully lift the trophy. And Monterrey is certainly one of the best teams, has been one of the best teams in North America for a long time, especially throughout the past years. And again, those are the type of matchups that you look forward to quite a lot as a player. And us as a franchise, we like to test ourselves, I think, against the best competition, and Monterrey is that.
That's a word that how you doing? Uh, it was a nice word right there, revenge. And I'm thinking about what happened last week and
Yeah.
what happened this week. The other team from New York will have to pay for what happened at the Red Bulls. Uh, how do you approach this? Because now you're going to have all the fans here supporting you. And my question goes more like, what happened really last week? Because the weather and this and that, but you were surprised by such a bad performance?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't want those performances to happen like that. We're hopeful now that obviously, it's out of our system a little bit, and games like last weekend, in my opinion, happen in this league a lot. And it doesn't matter if you're in first place or in last place. MLS is so unique where you can have games like that. And that's just one game. We could have also gone there, could have played really well and lost 1-0, unfortunately, and then you also have 0 points. This way, it was obviously a different story, but you know, it's just one game that's out of 34, and that's kind of what we have to take it as. We obviously have to learn from it and be ready if that you know, comes again in a way with bad weather, you know, all those types of things that played a factor. But yeah, it's something that I think we'll learn from and we'll get better from, and hopefully, like you said, the other New York team will take our revenge tomorrow.
Julian, we got word that Redondo, I think we're asking
So
the same
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, so we got word of his injury, and it seemed like against the DC United game specifically, he really got into his own groove. But how big of a loss is that, you know, for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, it's obviously unfortunate for him because, like you're saying, I think he comes in from, you know, from a league or from somewhere else, and now we finally got comfortable in a sense a little bit, or not finally, but you know, as started to kind of feel comfortable in the team, feel comfortable in the field, and what we're trying to do, and with his teammates around him, all those things. So, um, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate in that sense, and you know, we'll obviously miss him, but at the same time, you know, there's 30 other guys on the roster that we have a deep roster. I think we've known that coming into the year. He was obviously part of that, or is part of that, and now, you know, there's other guys having to step up, and it's as simple as that. You know, where you know, you look at, I don't know, Benja is getting just back to training. He's going to come back soon. You're talking about David Ruiz, who's played minutes in DC. You know, can step in there. Obviously, Diego has played well in there. I can play in there. So it's you know, different types of scenarios that the coaching staff will have solutions for. And yeah, again, it's about the depth of the team that kind of picks that up, and we'll be able to hopefully manage that until he's back.
Julian, with Federico's injury, it seems like you're gonna be playing back in the midfield. Is it difficult for you? Has been difficult for you that some games you play in the midfield and some games you have to play as a right back?
I haven't played as a right back.
Well,
Yeah,
a
right
right
wing
wing
back,
back.
a right winger, right wing back, and center mid. Yeah, that's kind of been the positions, but yeah, it's something I'm used to. So it's nothing really new. It's nothing really hard for me to adjust to. I think the coaching staff is doing a good job of kind of giving me heads ups of where I could potentially play in the weeks or days leading up to the game. So no real surprises. And Tata's told me that in the beginning of the season that there's multiple positions that I'll be playing in from game to game. And yeah, again, I'll adjust and I'll be okay. And like I said, the most important thing is that the team will do well, and that we as a team go out there, have one idea of what we're trying to do and who we want to be. And who plays in what position is a little bit secondary, in my opinion, in that sense.
Last one, guys.
Julian, how did the podcast? It did pretty well. First one, how is it going? And did you have any conversations with Leo about, you know, revealing that you know he's English?
No, Leo hasn't said anything, so I'm guessing he's okay with what I've said so far. And yeah, it's been going well. I mean, you know, I enjoy it. We're bringing, I think, another episode's coming out next week, and just before the Monterrey game, and then we'll hopefully do a recap of those things after, and we'll just continue on. And yeah, it's something I enjoy, something I hope the fans enjoy as well, where I can bring a little bit of insights into kind of my life here, what it's like playing alongside some of the greatest of the game has ever seen, and obviously what the day-to-day is like at Inter Miami and stuff. So yeah, enjoying it so far, and we'll see how it continues.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Julian.